In August of 2024, we headed north to British Columbia. Join us for part 2 of our grand loop of British Columbia for glacier and bear viewing as we start north on the Cassiar Highway. Brought to you by Occidentalist Outdoors.
Good morning.
All right, we started the Cassiar Highway yesterday, and we are just outside of Stewart and Hyder. We made it a little farther up the highway than we intended. The wreck sites we were going to were occupied. So.
It's summer and it's beautiful up here. We hit some good weather, and yesterday, I have to tell you, we saw 3 bears.
Yeah, didn't really get much of a image of them, but yeah, it was nice to see 3 bears, a couple on the road and one in the river. And we're here specifically for that reason, at least in the Stewart and Hyder area. Tomorrow we're going to be going to the Fish Creek observation area, but today we're just here a little early, so we're going to do some looking around at some glaciers. And the scenery coming in here was absolutely stunning, huh?
Oh my gosh, it's like you're driving into a different world.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, with the mountains towering over the highway and glaciers pouring off the mountains, and it was pretty impressive. So since we were kind of in a hurry to find a camp, since our plans kind of fell through, we're coming to you from Clements Lake, by the way, which is another BC wreck site for you to stay at. Although there's not very many spots, but we found one, and that's all we needed was one. So we're gonna head out on the day, and we'll show you what we find along the way.
It's gonna be exciting.
All right, see you out on the trail. After a quick walk around the boardwalk in Stewart, we crossed out of Canada and into Hyder, Alaska. We didn't stay too long in Hyder and continued up the road and crossed back into Canada on our way to Salmon Glacier. We weren't off the pavement very long when this little black bear ambled up the road toward us. It didn't seem to care too much that we were sitting in the road, and he just continued on his way, probably off towards Fish Creek and an afternoon salmon snack. After another 20 miles or so, Salmon Glacier was coming into view. The 5th largest glacier in Canada, the Salmon Glacier is an impressive river of ice. The abundant mosquitoes nearly talked us out of staying near the glacier for the night, but not knowing when we would have another opportunity to have a front row campsite view of a glacier again, we decided to brave the bloodsuckers and found a place to enjoy the view for the rest of the day. I think we made the right decision. The next morning we were up early and hoping to see some bears, but not before one last sunrise view of the glacier. The Fish Creek Wildlife Observation Site is located just outside of Hyder, Alaska. Your $5 entry fee gets you access to the boardwalk above Fish Creek. There's obviously no guarantee that you'll see a bear or how long you'll have to wait if you do. When we visited in mid-August, the creek lived up to its name and was full of chum and pink salmon. You have a front row seat to salmon spawning in the crystal clear waters. So the dinner table was set. We just needed a hungry bear to arrive. A few hours passed. Most people that arrived early morning had moved on. And then the guest of honor arrived. A fairly large brown bear entered the area from downstream, and our patience had paid off. After catching the salmon, the bear carried it to the bank. As near as we could tell, it didn't even take a bite. It sauntered back into the creek and eventually disappeared from view. After a few minutes of excitement, it was just the sound of the salmon splashing in the creek. Our time at Fish Creek had come to a close, and it was time to point the truck north again to the second half of the Cassiar Highway and the Yukon Territory. But that's a story for another video. Thanks for joining us on part 2 of our Grand Loop tour of British Columbia. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss part 3 as we continue north on the Cassiar. Until then, we'll see you on the trail.